My dreams come true.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with this week's Teen Mom Recap. Before I get started with this week's video, I would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I post new videos every single week about the newest episode of Teen Mom the Next Chapter, and news and tea and gossip. If that's something you want to watch, go ahead and subscribe. And anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this week's video. Briana calls Jade to tell her that she officially made the appointment to tie her tubes, and she invites her to come help out. I just don't want to start over with more kids. Yeah, you don't want to get knocked up by some person you're casually seeing. I love how Jade assumed that Briana's future relationships will probably all be casual and not serious. Also, there's more to this story that is not being addressed here. A few months ago, Briana brought up that she had a recent abortion. She posted this to her Instagram stories. In fact, I even made a video discussing it. You should go check that out. But the time that she posted that story aligns with the time that she filmed tying her tubes. So it would make sense as to why she wanted her tubes tied so urgently, even though she's not in a relationship or anything. Because she got pregnant recently by accident, came to the realization that she needs an absolutely 100% foolproof method, because she is a fool who will screw up every other method. But this just doesn't get brought up on the episode whatsoever, not addressed, not discussed at all. And I'd actually be super curious to hear what happened and who knocked her up, but this season is ignoring all the drama and all the backstory, and it drives me insane. They actually say that Janelle might be coming back next season, and honestly, I'd love to see her messy ass back. And don't even lie, you want to see her on the show too. She definitely has a storyline. Next is Jade. Now, Jade has been pretty salty recently about barely being featured on this season. She even posted a TikTok where she jokingly referred to herself as a guest star. Hi, I'm editing here. I just realized that she actually said guest staring. Okay. Now remember, the girls get paid only for every episode that they appear on. So every week that Jade's not on, she gets nothing. Anyway, Jade and Sean go to Home Depot to get some gardening supplies. And speaking of fertilizer, Sean asks how she feels about having a kid. She says, I don't want to tie my tubes like Briana, but I did stop taking my birth control. That doesn't necessarily mean I want another baby though. Well, I'm ready when you are. How do these girls not understand by this point? If you don't use birth control and you're under the age of like 40 to 45, you are trying for a baby. Ashley gets a phone call. It's from Clark County, which appears to actually be saved as a contact in her phone at this point. They tell her that Barr took a plea deal and he'll be released from jail after serving only 8 months. And given that they were initially saying that he could get up to 15 years, this is a pretty big difference. She meets up with her friend to share the news. My life is so different than I thought it would be. The cheating, the divorce, jail. I'm not telling Holly about this yet. Briana tells her family that Jade is coming for the tube tying. Roxanne says, I'm still not happy that you're getting it. You're too young. And Nova actually gets super frustrated here and sticks up for Briana. She's like, it's what she wants. Don't cry about it. You hang out with Brittany too much. You're starting to talk like her. No, like Nova just wants her room to herself. No more surprise siblings, please. And Nova's very shy. She doesn't talk much. So it's funny to actually see her speak out. The man that's out there for me will agree with me that I don't need more kids. Alli goes to her regular checkup appointment with Dr. Sal. We go to these a lot less often than we used to when she was young. Now it's only every couple of years. I want you to write down some questions for Dr. Sal. I don't have questions. I have muscular dystrophy and you don't. The doctors don't have it either, and they don't understand the things that I can do. They arrive at the appointment. Dr. Sal explains to Alli how her Titan gene can't repair itself normally, so using her power wheelchair is still important even when she thinks she doesn't need it. Leah asks him, are there any resources out there for kids with muscular dystrophy? And Dr. Sal shows her a group for those with titanopathy, which is similar. Next is Ashley. I'm going to meet up today with an advocate from an organization. And I feel like the most fake and unwatchable scenes on this show always start like this. Like, I'm going to go to this Zoom meeting with an advocate from an organization that paid a lot of money to MTV to show on this show. And it's going to be the most forced and uncomfortable conversation that you watch. So she meets up with the lady whose name is Tara. What is the status of your relationship? We were married, but we're separated now, and we have one child. Tara points to a piece of paper and asks Ashley, has this ever happened? And Ashley nods. Sometimes people even get headaches as a result of the stress and the trauma they experience in domestic violence relationships. I do get those. Well, you should follow up with your doctor about that. I just have a hard time seeing myself as somebody who was in a DV relationship. People question it because I don't look beat up and battered. I have a hard time not blaming myself. She starts to cry, and Tara reminds her to take her time and that none of this defines you. Briana is laying in a surgical bed again, but for once it's not because of a BBL. She got her tubes tied. And Jade is there. I guess to repay the debt from when Briana took care of Jade when she had that BBL. But this isn't anywhere near that level of drama. Roxanne drives Briana home, and Briana is just high as hell. She's babbling about how, I'm tired of surviving. I want to live a beautiful life. I love Nova and Stella so much. And then she starts laughing like SpongeBob. Briana gets home and Jade gives her a water bottle. Couldn't even come through with a heating pad. She says the stores all ran out of heating pads. And then she makes some kind of granola with Nova and Stella. Once Briana wakes up from her stupor, she says, I'll be clear in 2 weeks to have sex. I can't wait to start fucking and not have to worry about it. What about you and Sean? Do you want kids? Well, he has baby fever, but I have trauma. When I had Chloe, my parents were strung out on drugs. I lost all my friends, and I felt so alone. Leah connects with the organization and gives Alli's number to a girl her age, and they FaceTime together. The girl says that I have Charcot-Marie tooth disease. I'm a national ambassador for it, and I'm excited to talk to you today. She related to Alli in a few ways. They both have a healthy sibling, and the girl also uses a wheelchair depending on the situation. Alli says, I get in arguments with my mom because I feel like I don't always need my wheelchair. I do too. They have a good conversation, and they can really relate to each other. Sean meets up with his friend for golf. I don't know if Jade's serious about another baby. I was on drugs the first time. The ball is in her court. Jade gets back to Indiana and opens up her period app to see that she's late. She calls Briana. Well, I'm 11 days late and I'm sick to my stomach. The episode ends there, and they show a preview for next week's finale saying that somebody's pregnant. And while this episode implies that it might be Jade, apparently she's been drinking recently, according to people who watch her social media. I can't confirm that. So it's probably Cheyenne. But yeah, that's all for this episode of Teen Mom the Next Chapter. It was kind of boring. But next week is the finale, and that's when Leah texts Amber, I don't want to see you anymore, and it's not Gary saying that, it's me. And Amber is probably going to blow up, so that should be interesting. And also, we get a response from Brandon and Teresa through Dr. Drew. So I really want to see that as well. So tune in next week for the finale. Who do you think is pregnant? Leave a comment down below. Besides Mackenzie, that doesn't count. Make sure to leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe for more Teen Mom recaps every week.